to the first episode of Irene's Entropy. I'm really excited to start a show where I get to really engage in storytelling, and I get to do it in the way that I want instead of the algorithmic short form content that you probably know me for over on Instagram. I have over 500,000 followers over there. Maybe some of you will follow me here, but this is me pursuing my passion, and I'm so excited to start a project like this, literally in my living room. And I also want to be really honest about what this is and what this isn't, right? Like, I'm not trying to make a chicken soup for the soul, life coach, guru, module-based thing. Like, that's not what I'm going for at all. What this is storytelling in its purest form. I want you to feel like you're in my living room library with me, like we're talking and there's bits of philosophy and math and life and real stuff. I'll still be cutting this down into short form, putting it on Instagram, Facebook. You can still find me in those places, and I of course will be talking to you about my life, but this is a place where you can sit down for 10 to 15 minutes. If you are just walking on the treadmill at the gym, if you are at your desk at work, if you are taking care of the kids, if you are anywhere in life and you just want a real 10 to 15 minute pick me up. I think we live in an age where we are starved of realism. Everything is algorithmic. Everything is turning into AI and shortcuts and people just wanting quick rage bait or clickbait. And I don't want that. Storytelling is the most powerful form of lesson learning. It's almost like a cultural lobbying, if you will. You know, we're kind of on this precipice as a society, politically, religiously, philosophically, and culturally. And there's a lot of change going on all at once. And that's kind of captured in the title of what I chose for my social media, Irene's Entropy. If you don't know who I am, my name is Irene. I wasn't born with that name. We're going to get into that as I tell my story. But entropy specifically is the second law of thermodynamics. It's a term that captures the disorder of energy when we're talking about thermal systems. And the interesting thing about entropy is that it is the one law that follows time. It moves forward with time. The energy expands over time. It's chaotic. You can't stop it. We can only try to slow it down. For me, Irene's Entropy captures this moment in time and life and history where there's so much chaos going on. And in my own life, there was so much chaos in the disorder of my identity crash. And as I was trying to put order back into my life, it was Irene's entropy. And that's also, I feel like, what we're encapsulating in this show and in this storytelling is this idea that we live in a very chaotic world and you can't stop entropy. You have to understand that that's part of the beauty of life, is that we have chaos and choices, but we also need to do our best to understand the life that we're living with different perspectives and be able to put some sort of ordered understanding into life. That's what I feel like this show is. Pop in and out, watch these 10 to 15 minute episodes. Today I just want to give you a reintroduction as to who I am and what I'm even doing on the internet. A lot of people know me as an ex-Mormon. I left the Mormon church when I was 21, and I kind of got popular on social media because I talked about what my Mormon mission was like, what the process was like when I started questioning, when my faith and my belief was broken down into a pile of rubble and having to resurrect myself from that rubble. That's what Irene's Entropy became known for. But along the way, for me, it stopped being about an ex-Mormon identity because there were so many more important things going on in my life. It wasn't just leaving a religion behind. It was the idea that I was learning and changing and reconstructing my worldview, as well as the hard work it took when I decided to get my engineering degree. And I also clearly started writing music along the way. We're coming up on a really important release for me, one where I talk about my familial collapse and the estrangement and what it took for me to work through the projections of myself that I placed onto my siblings and my parents as I was relearning how to live life. There's so many deep topics there, and I'm looking forward to tearing that down in my own way as I release music. And I hope to create more community. I don't know where this will go. I don't know if we'll have some book club reviews, or I know Patreon is very popular. I don't have that yet, but as of right now, I just want to start. I just want to build something that I'm proud of. I just need to sit on my hands. I picked that up from all of the beautiful Latina people in Central America. They always were talking with their hands, and that's all I do now. So I'm sorry if I distract you with my hand movements, but we're gonna get through it. Shake it out. Shake it out. A little ASMR. If I talk into the mic like this, then I give you ASMR. I'm just kidding. This is not an ASMR channel. Patreon. We were talking about Patreon. I don't have a Patreon currently, but you can support me by buying my coffee, which I should have a glass in my hand. We're gonna get that in here next episode. I own Doorwalker Coffee. So if you like coffee, you are totally welcome to check that out. That is a way of supporting me and my work, and it's delicious. I'm very proud of how delicious my coffee is. Other things I want to be upfront about. I don't often take sponsorships. I feel like I am almost degrading my own brand if I take sponsorships and I am just a billboard for other brands, unless I really believe in them. I think I've only taken one or two to date, and I've rejected more than I've accepted. But if I do partner with a brand, it's something that I do believe in and that I don't mind reading their spiel. It's probably a product that I use. So if you do see that, that's part of the influencer world. And that's
one other thing I want to talk about.
We're at a pivotal point in human history. We're there. And I really want to be influencing the conversation in a landscape level view. I know that there's a lot of people talking about all of the tragedies. I am not happy with this administration of my country and the direction that my country has been going for quite some time now. We're in this terrible point where we have differences, and our differences are what define us rather than what makes us human. I'm also a part of something called Builders, a think tank group of people from the left and right and center and everything in between that are dedicated to having conversations as people working together to find solutions. It's something that I'll probably talk more about here on this platform. I myself grew up in an extreme religious family and also was raised by an extremely conservative father who believed in a lot of conspiracy theories. Like, my childhood had a lot of conspiracy theories and things in it that had no structured thought. There was no premise, conclusion, built argumentation. It was a wildness that matched the religious intensity of what I grew up in. And so my goal is to be the opposite of that now. And my goal is to also try to have understanding for those that are wrapped up in the conspiracy theories and any extreme spectrum where they have lost sight of what it means to have matured thinking and an understanding of what argument is. At the end of the day, my hope is that this storytelling influences you in its truest form. I want to be an influencer that encourages you to believe in yourself, first and foremost. Believe that you can learn and change, and that is what life is all about, and we can embrace that. We can walk through our doors into new landscapes where we discover new things about ourselves, and we have challenges, and that's the grit and the substance of being human. I want to help usher in a new renaissance of human art and thought as we see more of AI taking over our lives, which can be a useful tool, but it also can be destructive to those things that helped us remember what it is to be human in the first place. I think we see that in a lot of our young people now, including people in my age cohort, that we're suffering with different kinds of depression and inability to really understand ourselves because so much of ourself has been outsourced, not even to politics and religion, but to technology most of our lives. And I want to be a part of that breakdown and that remembrance of what art and music and talking and books and all these things have to do with our humanity in the first place. I will always encourage human interaction, live events. I host concerts and events and workshops and fun things everywhere I go across the country. Sometimes it's a house show. I'm working towards playing at larger venues. That's very expensive. I'll probably talk to you more about what that's like as an artist and the nitty-gritty details of what it's like to be pursuing the arts in this day and age. I left an engineering job to pursue this. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so proud of Irene's Entropy. I'm so grateful that I'm in a space where I get to be here in front of you. So thank you for watching the first episode. And I hope that you know a little bit more about me, what my goals are for Irene's Entropy, this storytelling show. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks.